Good morning, Sian. How you doing? You well?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm blessed, always, in a ways. Listen, we're here to catch up and follow on from our first interview, which was like ages ago now. We was talking
Does
about
seem like ages ago,
yeah, we were talking about 2021 and how you were going to attack it and how you were going to win, turn not the losses, but the lessons of 2020 and that whole pandemic lockdown period into a win. You seem to have done that. I noticed that your loungewear, which we were talking about, is in Asda.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's been a crazy couple of years. You know, lockdown's been a nightmare for everyone, and luckily for us, I don't want to say it's the best thing that happened because it really isn't, because it's been horrible. But as a transition and as a brand and for what we've done for the business, it was like crazy time, but it's ended up being a really sweet ending. So, you know, for us as a purely swimwear brand, when literally March hit and no one was going on holiday and we were like a UK only brand, it was like, okay, what we're going to do. We planned to do lounge, but we ended up kind of moving into it a lot quicker than we should have. But we just ended up getting some big supporters, some big influencers wearing the product. Then we were knocking on the doors of different retailers. And, you know, really as a loungewear brand, we're still quite new. So it was a bit like, I don't know whether the takers or be interested, but I think purely because we had such big influencers wearing our stuff as well, which is very difficult to do. Like as a brand like us, it's hard to get them people in it. And I think seeing who we are, what we're trying to be and what we're becoming as a brand and our products, you know, that they're all about being really premium, good quality, but not being overly expensive where you can't afford them. I think it all just made sense. So then, yeah, getting the deal with Asda was like a dream come true. I used to work in Asda before The Apprentice, which makes it even more sweet, I guess. You know, it was it's just been such an interesting journey so far, but it's amazing to see the products on shelves now in the stores.
Yeah, mate, it's a big difference from being just on a website, I guess. And you mentioned it, so let's touch on that price point and retail outlet. I mean that those things are important for the success of any brand
100%.
products, especially in your area, loungewear. Talk about what you were considering a lot. I know you probably, the deal's done now, right? So where else were you considering, or was Asda where you wanted it to be?
We had the opportunity with George at Asda, and I was like, because it was more being explained as why they're doing it as a brand, because obviously they have George, their own brand, but they've brought in other brands like your Misguideds and I think In the Style's in there now, and Wrangler jeans. And it's kind of the way it was explained, I thought it completely makes sense, because pandemic has been a time where they've realized they can get a customer in the door to do the food shop and to do the clothes shop. And at one point, that was the only place you could really go and get clothes if you wanted to, bar online. So for me, I was like, that's actually quite a sick idea. And for us, where we are positioned, you know, because I was kind of like, I'm not sure whether our price is going to be too premium, but being able to see and feel the product in store, not being, you know, we're not like designer, really, really expensive, a little bit more expensive than their George. It was a bit like, well, let's just see, because I think there'll be appetite for it. And I think nowadays customers are definitely swaying more to that sustainable, higher quality product rather than going for the fast fashion stuff they're going to wear once and wash once. Do you know what I mean? I think as a nation, as a world, we need to be considering that anyway, just for the ethical side of things and, you know, sustainability and stuff like that. So yeah, George was one that once I heard of like the plans, I was like, that's sick. And as a brand, for me to be in there for that transition and for that to happen all day long. But obviously as a brand, you know, you speak to loads of retailers, and like when The Apprentice was on, you get so much interest. You've got like ASOS, you know, Frasers now, which has got its whole new plan going on. So people do say like, where else would you want to be? I'm like, it depends. It needs to be someone that I feel can work with us and the product, because it gets to a point, I think, as a brand where you're not as bothered about just being in anywhere. You want to be in the right place. You want to make sure it represents the brand the right way. So yeah, being in George has been an interesting journey and a really kind of exciting one, I guess.
I'm looking at obviously what's hitting the shelves, and yeah, you've it's got your usual creative swag on it. So
Yeah.
talk about the designs and how you came to what we're finally seeing.
So the range that we launched on our site, and that's in George, what we tried to do, because we had last year where we had, we kind of kept the designs, or should I say it's me, I design everything. So I
stop
like
giving everybody some.
I know.
Stop giving everybody, you know what I mean? It's you.
Yeah, so I decided, no. So what I wanted to do with Asda, the range last year, we got to see what did well, what didn't, what colours worked, what people wanted. So this time around, I'm like, right, let's take the key pieces, the best sellers. We'll do a couple of colorways that are not too crazy, that, you've got your neutral colors, you've got your blacks, your grays. Keep it quite simple and make it really sellable, and make sure them price points are bang on. But one thing that we like to do with the ranges is make sure that fabrics you've got a mixture of fabrics. It's not all one plain mood board. You've got your fleeces, you've got your normal polyesters, but even those, they're really heavyweight, they're like brushed inside, so they're really warm and thick and cozy. And yeah, it was kind of a mix of not being too wild and not going too crazy, but then not being too plain, where as a customer you'd be like, well, I can buy this same hoodie from, for X amount cheaper. So yeah, we kind of picked them best sellers. We've got some more stuff going in soon, actually, the gilets, which are like the best. We've pretty much sold out of them online already. So I'm looking forward to just, it's all a learning curve as well. The first time round with retail, it's seeing what works, because their customers are different to ours, and we can use our own, analytics and see and use what we know. But there's always a bit of we just need to see what happens too. But so far, so well, so good. We've got a tracksuit in there already that's sold out in a couple of sizes, which is a very good sign considering we've only launched a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I kept the designs fairly simple. We've got a bit more colour getting injected next year, so for summer. But again, it's still just about being for everyone and not being too wacky to begin with.
I know you designers are a couple of seasons ahead, right? So you pivot, you mentioned it was always an idea for you to step into this realm, into this area of design. It was expedited because of circumstances. What else do you want to pivot to though, Sian? Where loungewear, you got the lingerie, you got the not lingerie, you got the swimwear.
It's funny because I think as a business, where I'm at right now is I'm like, okay, we've kind of moved into loungewear, and really we want to just nail that first, because it's really easy as a business owner to be like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to then, bring out trainers. But sometimes for me, I'm like, I need to just nail this first, because this market is huge and there's a lot of other competition as well. So we really need to get a stamp on that. But I actually would like to look at, I get asked by men, all my followers, are you doing menswear? Are you doing menswear? I'm like, not yet. I would like to look at children's wear at some point, just because I feel like our age group that we target, we want to stick with that age group, but we also want to move with them. And one next step for that age group is going to be children. So, they'll be having their own children. So it's kind of like, how can we keep that market that we've got and have more appeal to them? Men's is like a whole new market that's different, and I would like to do that eventually. But yeah, I'd like to look at maybe children's, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. For us though, for women's right now, it's just loungewear. I want to nail that first.
Fair enough. If Christmas came early, then
yeah,
what would that look like? What would happen? What would you like to achieve?
In what sense? So
if we're in regards to this loungewear that's in Asda right now. I mean, without answering it for you, I know for it to sell out and there to be none left on the shelves all over. Yeah, obviously. What else?
Do you know what? I think one thing for me is just getting some really good positive feedback and reviews. I think on George's site they have a review section, and it'd just be nice to see. It's different when you're doing it through your own site, but it'd be nice to get just some really positive reviews, and to get to see the reaction to it in that way, because I guess that's how we can see the reaction through the reviews. You know, obviously numbers are massive and selling out would be the ideal, but like you say, I think aside from that, just getting good feedback, seeing that the customers are understanding the quality of the product, the look, the feel of it, they're enjoying that, and that I'm kind of trying to stay in the light, but is that making it more awkward?
Actually, you're in the light now. You haven't been in the light for the whole interview, but
keep
let show them, girl, show them. Let the glow come through. Yeah. So go on. You were saying you want feedback and reviews. Yeah,
I want people to be to get an understanding of who we are as a brand, our message, understand that sustainable side. Because you know what, nowadays I think, you know, no disrespect to fast fashion, but it's changing the way people shop, and in my opinion, in some ways it's not for the better, because as young children, you know, and as students, I feel like we need to re-educate them on the value of products. Sometimes I think nowadays it's such throwaway, like, yeah, well, I'll buy a new dress every weekend, or I'll buy something, wash it once, but it's going to break away and I'm not going to be able to wear it again. Like, that's not how it should be, really. It's like, buy this hoodie, you can wear this for years, you can keep this in your wardrobe, and in 5 years time it's still going to be there and it's still going to be good quality. That's one of the key things I think for us, is like, I want to get that message across, and I want younger people to understand that, because I think I'm really not into throwaway fashion. Vintage is huge, you know, and I love that you can bring back styles, rewear them and make them your own. So for me, I'm like, I want, you know, our products are good quality, and I want people to get that and understand it.
Sian Gabbidon's loungewear is in Asda at the moment. Go help her to sell it out before Christmas. Are you planning to take a holiday, young lady? Because I know, like, you work like incessantly.
Well, I think just before Christmas, I'm gonna do just a mini little like UK trip somewhere, maybe to London for a couple of nights. But actually, because every time I'm in London, it's always work. So it'd be nice to go down. I guess I say that. I was at some awards a couple of days ago, but it's usually busy. I'd like to go down and just enjoy London for once and be a bit of a tourist, you know. And then in the new year, well, it's my 30th next year. I know I can't believe that I'm 30 next year, to be honest. I feel like I'm like 21 still.
Oh, hey, listen, they all feel like that. Trust me.
Honestly. So I'm going to Jamaica for my 30th with my boyfriend.
Best holiday in the world.
I'm not wait. We're going to go for 2 weeks.
You've been, right?
I've not been. And I've got family over there, so I'm like, I need to just experience it and meet. I've never met half of my family, you know.
You're gonna love it, Sean.
So my diet starts January for that. It's not till next October, but I'm gonna get fit and healthy and ready for it, because I'm just gonna eat the whole time. That's my plan, the whole 2 weeks.
You're gonna love the food as well. So you're gonna that's probably makes sense, actually.
Yeah. So we'll probably go away in between the year, but that's gonna be a big one. And I think we're going to try do a couple of days in LA to start the holiday, then head to Jamaica. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's nice to have something as long as nothing kicks off again with COVID.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We'll see what happens, but yeah.
We're wishing you all the best with your business endeavors, and everything up into your 30th and beyond. Be just as successful and even more. All right, thank you.
And I appreciate the support as well. So thank you.